Hello YouTube. Sorry I haven't been making more videos recently. I think I just need some time to learn more from God and to share it to you all. Anyway, there are some times when we want to do something amazing. Then we suddenly don't want to anymore because we're too nervous. Maybe we think it's stupid. Maybe we have problems with talking. Or maybe we don't believe that we will succeed. I would like to share a story from the Bible with you in Exodus. Now, this man named Pharaoh enslaves all of the Canaanites in Egypt and gave them the most unfair work in history, besides homework. He whips them and forces them to make pyramids and monuments of him. What's even worse, that land is covered in sand. In Exodus chapter 3 verse 17, the Lord promises to rescue all the people in Egypt from all the torture and to lead them to a land flowing with milk and honey. Isn't that interesting? Imagine yourself as a slave in Egypt building things in the heat and sand. It would totally suck because they were working with sandy bricks. You know how annoying ocean sand can get? Ocean sand can get all over you and your stuff, and it takes forever to clean it all up. That's how it was like in Egypt. Another thing, Egypt is like hell. It's a symbol of sin, slavery, habits, bondage, and Satan controls it all. But have you ever tried mixing milk with honey? How do you think that would taste? Delicious, wouldn't it? Like a new kind of paradise that everyone would just die for. Unless you're lactose intolerant. But whatever. The point is that God wanted his people the heck out of that hellhole and to lead them to a land of paradise. When God promises victory, he sends us into action. He's prepared us for victory, and it's not necessary for us to just wait for it. He wants us to take some action for it, like how Moses should have taken some. Now, in Exodus chapter 4, God sends Moses to save his people by talking Pharaoh into it. But Moses overreacted, and he complained about his stuttering and about Pharaoh's stubborn heart. He was too afraid of how Pharaoh would respond and said that he was too clumsy with words. God kept trying to convince him, but Moses was just full of excuses. Verse 14, and then the Lord became angry with Moses. "Alright," he said, "what about your brother, Aaron the Levite? He's a good speaker, and look, he's on his way to meet you now. When he sees you, he will be very glad. You'll talk to him, giving him the words to say. I will help both of you to speak clearly, and I will tell you what to do. Aaron will be your spokesman and to the people, and you will be as God to him, telling him what to say." So, why do we decide not to do something amazing? Why don't people like to serve God? Everyone has a reason not to. Maybe it's because we're not in control. Maybe it's too hard for us. Maybe we don't feel like good preachers, or we could have a problem with talking. God wants to help us speak. We're just afraid because we can't talk. Now, this one time at my church, we were in groups of 3 praying for our service and our newcomers. This was when I was still an amateur at preaching and when I didn't know how to pray out loud. It was my turn to pray, and all I said was just 5 words. I was sweating with fear, because I didn't know what else to say. And I told them about this disability that I have. But they were still happy for me, and at least I tried. This was how Moses felt. Scared. He didn't believe that he would succeed. That's the major problem. Not believing. If Moses would have believed that he could do it, it would have been so easy to convince Pharaoh to let his people go. And God wouldn't have made all those plagues of blood, frogs, flies, etc. Believing is the key to success. One time at my church, our pastor asked the mentors to come up and pray for those who needed love. Then I had this feeling of courage. I wasn't really a mentor, but I felt that God wanted me to go up there with them. So I did. As they played some worship music in the background, our guests came up to the mentors, and they were being loved and prayed for. I was waiting for one to come up to me. I didn't even regret joining them. I knew I belonged up there to give someone love. Finally, one came up to me, and it was a girl. I closed my eyes and saw an image of Jesus in my head. And amazingly, I knew I was actually praying out loud and in public. I was praying. As I was praying, the girl and I held each other, and I felt the pain that she was suffering in her life. That made me pray even louder, and I knew that she could felt my love for her. I've been praying out loud in private for like a month, but that was the first time I ever did it in public. And even better, it was for a girl. She was crying as she came up to me. God dried up her tears through me. And this happened 10 days ago. It's not necessary to wait for someone else to do what God wants us to do. He doesn't send the qualified. He sends the unqualified, like me. I qualify myself, and it takes time. And I think it's time for you to stop waiting and to start taking some action. It's time to do what God wants you to do without complaining. If you don't want to, it's your choice. God has sent me to hang with people who are much different from me. Hanging with people who are like me does not make the world different. He sent you to do the same thing. Please do me a favor and share this video to all your friends who are having a hard time with life. If I can change the way I respond to God, I know you can, because I have faith in you. Let's make a change in this world together and do what we were meant to do. God bless you. Take care.